Hello everyone, welcome back. And Barcelona beats Real Sociedad 2-1 to climb to the top of La Liga. And that's such a great result, but also to put yourself in first after Real Madrid dropped points to Atletico Madrid. That's just such a great result for Barcelona to get a win in this game. And I want to go through and talk about some of the positives, maybe some of the negatives, and some standout performances because a lot to talk about from this game. But yeah, Barcelona 2-1 win against Real Sociedad. Let's get into it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is that I think everyone knew how important it was for Barcelona to get 3 points in this game because Real Madrid have started La Liga very well. It didn't look like they were going to drop points anytime soon. And Atletico Madrid dropped such a great performance against them to beat them 5-2 in La Liga. And so Barcelona needed to take advantage of that. And wow, that Julian Alvarez free kick, incredible. Bring him to the Camp Nou. I've already seen enough. He was so good in that game. And yeah, that was such a great performance from Atletico Madrid. It was great to see Real Madrid drop points, even though Atletico Madrid looks like they haven't had the best start to the season, but they are going to be a competitor in La Liga. So Barcelona, they just have to continue to win, and that's exactly what they did today. I don't think they started this game off great. To be honest, it looked a little bit slow, a little sluggish. And then once Real Sociedad did score their goal, that's kind of when Barcelona started to wake up, which they've done that a couple of times this season. And yeah, as I said, the performances don't always have to be pretty, especially against a team in La Liga that's going to, sit back. It's going to make it difficult for you to break them down, to open up their defense. And that's exactly what happened. Real Sociedad, they were very compact. They played well defensively. And Barcelona, I think they kind of struggled a little bit going forward just to kind of try and open up the game. But of course, Lamine Yamal coming on in the game, and he opened up and unlocked the game for Barcelona. And that's obviously why they got the win today. And as I said, I think Barcelona started this game very slow. They were a little bit sluggish. And it kind of makes sense because, of course, Rooney, Bardghji, and Dro were in the starting lineup. It's not to say that they played bad or anything, but it's just that, when Lamine Yamal came in, when Ferran Torres, when Dani Olmo came in, Barcelona did look a lot better. And how they finished the game, it was a lot more open because Real Sociedad was looking for the equalizer. So I think Barcelona, they did play better towards the end. But yeah, I'm just glad to see Barcelona get the win, even though at the beginning, I think they did start a little bit slow. And I do want to highlight two performances. I want to talk about Dro, and I also want to talk about Rooney, Bardghji. And I'll start with Dro. I don't want to say I was disappointed with the performance, but I kind of, what we saw from preseason, I expected a little bit more. I expected more eagerness on the ball because it just kind of seemed like he was afraid to show too close to the ball because I think he was trying to find those pockets of space like Dani Olmo does, but he just didn't look like he really wanted the ball. Maybe that's just me saying that, but he didn't look very eager to receive because it just kind of seemed like he was worried about taking a wrong touch or maybe misplacing a pass. Was playing a little bit scared, which I can't say I'm, surprised at all because he's a 17-year-old starting his first game in La Liga for Barcelona. So I still think he has so much talent. We kind of saw it in a couple moments. He had a couple good dribbles and a couple good passes. One to Rooney, Bardghji down the wing, which started a great counterattack for Barcelona. So I think he did well in some moments, but overall, didn't have as great of a performance as maybe we would have expected because of everything that we saw in preseason. That's not to say he's not ready. That's not to say he won't be important because I think with Fermin Lopez out injured, Dro can be a great option off the bench. But, I do want to see more. I want to see a little bit more confidence from him, which I think that's just going to come with time. It's going to come with touches, with more responsibility. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Yeah, I'm glad to see that Hansi Flick also did trust him to put him in the starting lineup in a game like this. So that was all great to see. So Dro, I'm excited to see what he does at Barcelona going forward. But the other performance I want to talk about is Rooney, Bardghji because I think he was very good today. I think that was a very positive performance because for me, sometimes it just looks like he's going backwards. He's maybe playing a little bit safe, but then sometimes he kind of does go forward at the wrong times. That's what we've seen in the first couple games when he's been off the bench. But to see him start and to get a good 60-minute performance out of him, I think he did very well, honestly. I think there was a lot of creativity coming from his side. I think he put a lot of great crosses into the box, was taking his defenders on, and had a couple good moments here or there, a couple good dribbles, 1v1 against his defender. So I really did like his performance today. You never know how good of a player he's going to be in the future because I think he does have a lot of talent. Obviously, with Lamine Yamal starting in front of him, that's a difficult position to kind of make your own. But I did like what I saw today. I think he had a couple good moments there, and overall, I don't think he was completely effective going forward. But, you still saw some good moments. I think Barcelona did struggle offensively just to try and create some opportunities for themselves. And Rooney, Bardghji was a bright spark in that effort to create, the second goal for you. So Rooney, Bardghji, I was impressed with his performance today. I'm not sure how everyone else saw it, but yeah, I liked what I saw today. And Barcelona, unsurprisingly, they did dominate in possession. And I think that Jules Koundé header was just incredible. I was so happy when that went in because once Barcelona kind of conceded that early goal, it was just obviously against the run of play, but Barcelona's defense looked a little bit too open just to cut back into the box, just to sweat across goal, and that's what happened. Barcelona, they've looked exposed a couple of times with that high line, and you're kind of waiting for an opportunity like this to come in when they got the ball on the left-hand side, and I think it was Ronald Araujo that was kind of pressing him, but then the other center back, I think Christensen, just wasn't really marking the guy at the back post, which is a tough man to mark anyways, but just made it a little bit too easy for them. And yeah, after that, I just knew it was going to be a difficult game for Barcelona because Sociedad was very happy with that one goal, and they were going to sit back and make it difficult for Barcelona, which I understand. I'd probably do the same thing. If I was coming up against a team like Barcelona, I wouldn't want to just make it easy for them and make it open and let their players like Marcus Rashford and Pedri and Frenkie de Jong have all the freedom in the world to go forward. So yeah, they sat back and they waited for Barcelona to kind of create their chance. But that ball from, I think it was Marcus Rashford, put a great ball into the box, and Jules Koundé, what a header to get Barcelona level in this game. I mean, I think he was great. And also, it was about 30 seconds before that, Barcelona had another corner. It looked like a Real Sociedad defender was pulling Jules Koundé's hair. And then, it looked like he was on the ground. He got right back up. 30 seconds later, just a bullet header into the corner for Barcelona. So that was so important for Koundé to get Barcelona level in that game. And then you kind of just had to wait for around the 60th minute, Lamine Yamal. He needed about 8 touches and maybe 45 seconds to decide this game. And that's why he's one of, if not the best players in the world. And I saw a lot of stuff online about he doesn't deserve a top 5, top 10 finish. Let's be serious. Let's stop rage baiting. Let's stop taking ourselves as a joke. Lamine Yamal is one of, if not the best players in the world. And over the course of this last year, he has been incredible. And that's exactly how I categorize the best players in the world, is people that are able to do that. People that are able to change the game on its head, that take the ball, go 1v1 with their defender and make something happen, put a ball on a complete platter for Lewandowski, who buried it, for Barcelona to go 2-1 up in this game. And that's exactly what you have when Lamine Yamal is on the pitch. But at the same time, when he's not there, there aren't many players that can do what he's doing on the ball. Because, I think Rafinha and Rashford and Ferran Torres, they're all great attackers, and they have so many positives and strengths to give to Barcelona. But it's Lamine Yamal that more often than not is the one making the difference for Barcelona, because he's actually taking people on. He's putting dangerous balls into the box, and he's dragging defenders towards him. There was about 2 people on him right when he came on. Didn't matter. Sergio Gomez, ex-Barcelona product, was at left back. He was actually an attacking midfielder, I'm pretty sure, in La Masia, but was played as a left back in this game, and Lamine Yamal just torched him within 30 seconds and put the ball onto Lewandowski. And yeah, I think Lewa, a great header, off the post and in. Maybe some people also say, Lewa, you have to finish that last chance just to give Barcelona a little bit more freedom in the last, 10 minutes of the game, because Lamine Yamal, I think it was Frenkie de Jong, great long ball over to Lamine. Lamine just put it on towards the back post to Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres with such a smart, delicate touch to Lewandowski, and Lewa puts it off the crossbar from like 5 yards out, which, that stuff happens. Lewa is one of, if not the best strikers of our generation, and even he can make a mistake like that. So, I'm not worried about that, but it would have made the last couple minutes a little bit easier for Barcelona. But yeah, overall the performance I think was very good today, just to bounce back, because it didn't look pretty for 90 minutes, but to get a 2-1 win against a team like Real Sociedad, it's a positive result. And yeah, just happy with Barcelona, and of course with Lamine Yamal coming back from injury. And of course, players like Pedri and Frenkie de Jong were so good today. It's so great to see them back at their best. And yeah, that midfield is incredible. Of course, you knew you were going to dominate and control from the very beginning, because when you have 2 players like that in the midfield, like, what do you think is going to happen? They're so good in that game. And again, as I said at the beginning, I think Dro in the first 45 minutes just didn't really show up as much as I would have liked to. And I think Dani Olmo coming on, he did drop back. He did find a little bit more space, which, to be fair to Dro, the game was a little bit more open when Dani Olmo came back on. So yeah, overall, I just think Barcelona did dominate for large parts of this game. So I don't think it was maybe their best performance going forward, because they didn't create that many opportunities. But towards the end, it opened up a little bit, and then you saw Ferran Torres come on and have a couple of chances. Also want to say Marcus Rashford off the left, I think he looked very positive today. I think, especially in the first 45, if anything was going to happen, it was maybe going to be from Rooney Bardghji, but I think largely going to be from Marcus Rashford kind of taking his man on, or putting a dangerous ball into the box, or just creating something just with the ball at his feet. Because I think Marcus Rashford, maybe some people were even saying, why would you buy him? Rafinha's like so good. We want to be starting him every single game. But this is exactly why, because the season is very long. And I know a lot of people are talking about Barcelona's injury problems because, of course, it seemed like Marcus maybe picked up an injury. And, with Fermin Lopez, with Rafinha, and now Joan Garcia being out injured, all that stuff is very unfortunate because the season is very long. You want all of your players to be healthy, and stuff like this is just kind of random. Like, what can you do to prevent that? I don't think any of those players were overplayed. It seemed like Rafinha just kind of picked up a random injury in the last game. He only played for 60 minutes. Fermin Lopez, it's like the last touch of the game, I guess, got injured a couple games ago for Barcelona. And then Joan Garcia out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is really tough for Barcelona because he's been so good to start the season. But I think Szczesny looked pretty positive in this game as well. Didn't have like too many saves to make, but I think he looked positive. So it's good to have him as a backup. But yeah, Barcelona, it's going to be a very long season, and that's exactly why you sign players like Rudy Bardghji and Marcus Rashford. And that's why you don't sell players like Fermin Lopez, like Marcus Soto, because they're going to be important at some point during the season, and all of them currently are. But yeah, I think I heard La Liga commentators say that Barca don't play until next Sunday, which is good. I think it's against Sevilla, so that'll be a good game. But Barcelona, as I said at the beginning, it was very important for them to capitalize on Real Madrid dropping points because I think Madrid have such a great squad. They have so much talent there, and Xabi Alonso looks like a very promising coach. So it's going to be difficult for Barcelona, honestly, to win La Liga, but that's kind of why you give it value because, as Messi said, you win, I think it's 8 La Ligas in 11 years, and people kind of take that away, and they're always looking for the Champions League. But then you go on a lot of losses, and you think, wow, we probably should have given that a little bit more value, and all the work that you put in every single week to get those titles, that does have a ton of value. So I'm glad that we're seeing that again and that these competitions are close. But Barcelona, yeah, they're going to have to earn La Liga this season, but they just took one more step to kind of get to that level. So very happy with the win. Again, Barcelona sometimes didn't look like the best going forward in this game, but they did completely dominate. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to get 3 points. So that's exactly what Barcelona did, and I'm very happy with that. And yeah, again, positive performances. Koundé with a great goal. Marcus Rashford looked bright off the left. Rudy Bardghji, I think that was probably his best performance as a Barca player. Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, incredible yet again. I think Ferran Torres came on and looked very bright. I'm such a fan of Ferran Torres. I know a lot of people kind of turned their back on him, and I even said, maybe it won't work out at Barcelona. Like, I don't know, maybe he should look for another club because it just doesn't seem like he'll really fit in. But Hansi Flick, as he's done with a ton of other players, he's given these guys values, and he's just shown them that they can fit in well and provide something to Barcelona, and now they're playing with so much confidence. So it's just great to see that. But yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. VISCA Barca, as always. I hope you all have a great weekend and a great week ahead. And I'm not sure if I'll make another video midweek. Maybe I could try and make some, Barcelona type of content before the next game. But yeah, Barcelona plays Sevilla next weekend, so I'm excited for that. But Barcelona, great to see them get 3 points today. And as always, hope you have a great one. VISCA Barca. I'll see you all later. Peace.